Hello everyone and welcome back to Orange Studios. I am Inchiga, and in today's tutorial we are going to do a continuation of the December package series. Today we are going to look at how to do a flyer on food again. So this is going to be the second episode on the food series. Let's jump in and do a quick tutorial. So to begin with, we want to create our canvas, and to do that the shortcut key is Ctrl+N to open up this. I'm using the canvas size of 8 inch by 10 inches, so you can just follow along. Alright, with that done, we are going to draw simple shapes, add our images, and we are done. So let's draw our first shape. Select the shape to rectangular shape to draw a rectangle across the whole page. We are going to change the color to a dark brown, and this is the color I'm going to use. So this is the RGB settings. You can pick it up here and work with it. Alright, I'm going to put this particular layer under lock, so I'm going to click on this. The next thing I'm going to do is to draw another shape that will be a brighter color. So I'm going to change this color to this, or probably I'm just going to add a gradient effect to it. So select the gradient overlay, come over here and select the gradient. Now I've already saved up the gradient settings here, but it's simple, easy. These are the color codes I used. You can save this up if you want to follow along. You can try your own color codes like I always say. This is for this. The angle is set to minus 75 degrees. You can easily adjust it. See, if it's so, you can just come over to the screen here and adjust it as you want, so it's that simple. Alright, now I'm going to add a texture to this shape, and from there I would move on. So to do that, I'm just going to drop in this image, turn it anyhow I want. Just have in mind what you want to do, then you just follow along. It makes it easier than the guesswork. So if you have a picture of what you're trying to do, it's simpler that way. Now I want to clip mask this to this, but because there's an effect on this layer, it won't apply. So if I do, realize that you're not seeing the images. So to have the texture showing, I would have to right click here, right click on the layer, and either rasterize the layer or rasterize the layer style. So either way it goes, immediately you see that the texture now shows. I'm now going to change the blend mode for this layer to this luminosity. That makes it pick the color of the foreground, or for the lack of a better expression, let's say turns it to black and white and blends it into the layer below it. So that's what it does. Now I'm going to reduce the opacity to, let's say, 19 is okay, 20 is okay. Okay, so I think we can even drop it further to, let's say, 10. Yeah, so it doesn't stand out too much. 12 is okay. Yes, 12 is okay. Next thing, I'm going to draw more images to complete the job. I'm going to work with this image right here. Wow. And this image right here. Now let's reduce the sizes to fit how we want it to look like. Now let's apply a drop down shadow to this image here. Double click on the right side of the layer, apply drop down shadow. We can increase the size of the shadow so that it spreads further. The direction, we can increase it so that it drops further. Increase the opacity so it stands out a bit more. Alright, so let's do some little adjustments to this images here, and would end our tutorial in a bit. So I want to make it a bit bigger. I've done some new alignments. That's the thing, you would have to also judge with your own eye and see which one works better, and work with that. this should do it. I want to now drop a texture and make the brown is too plain. I want to add a little texture to it and make it look a bit nicer. So I'm going to drop this texture here, take it back, and then change the blend mode to somewhere darken. Color bend, yes, color bend works. So I'll now reduce the opacity just a little bit. Yes, so this, okay, you might not see it, but there it is, so that the brown does not become too plain as it was. Let me take it off so you see the before and after. It's very minute, but it helps. Okay, so with this done, we now want to add our text and then apply a little more effect and we'll be done. So let's say we want to write out the words great meal. I want to take out this 8 here and paste it separately. So this is what I'm going to do, type the same 8 out. And then I'm going to copy the size of the font here, or the text here, and repeat it there. So copy this size and apply it to the 8, so you have a uniform size for all the text. Now let's do something here. Right click on the side of the layer. I want to turn down the fill opacity to 0, then apply a stroke. The stroke can be 8, 9 or 10. Let's say we make it 7, so that we have this outline. That's the effect I wanted to do with the 8, so that it stands out, because it's not the norm. That's not how you spell 8. Alright, with this done, we want to add the next text, which is meal. Same size. Let's drop it. Now let's select all text and then try reduce it a little. Okay, so this works. Alright, now let's add another text to it. Call it served. I'm going to use the font called Robertson, alternate, and then change the uppercase to normal case. Change the color to white, and then properly place it. Alright, moving on, want to add some few informations. Let's create this shape. And adjust the properties. Let's make it a bit more curved, so 80. And let's reduce the height from 155 to 90, and then the width from 653 to 600. Great. So with this, what we are going to do with this is to press the key U to bring out the shape tool, and then we are going to make the fill empty and then make the stroke a solid color like this. Increase the size of the stroke to, let's say, 5. Enter, and then duplicate the same rounded rectangle. Now this time we are going to fill and then remove the stroke, and we'll come back here and then change this from 600 to 590, and then change the 90 to 80. And then let's try and align these two shapes so they fall into the center. Alright, so let me even make it let's take this down to 75 and take this down to 85, and try aligning it once more. Perfect. Alright, let's zoom in and then drop our text. Alright, so now let's add the date, venue, and time, and that will be it. So I want to duplicate this layer and then drop it. Alright, so now that we have our text written, we want to just apply a little effect so that the image becomes wholesome. Now you realize that the temperature around this picture is different from this. We want to try and blend everything as one. So to do that, we would want to do some few simple things. We want to you can choose to go about it several ways. One of the ways is to apply a gradient map over the entire image. So the gradient map serves as a color toning for the entire design. This can work, this color gradient here can work, but you can also choose to go about it using other gradient colors so far as they kind of suit your design. So you realize that my whole design is quite warm, so the reason for making it warm. Now this is one step. The next thing I can do is to apply a new layer here, bring it probably down here, and then use the brush to increase the size. Now I'm going to throw some light on this picture here, so I can pick a bright orange. Fortunately I have some here, bright orange, and then just throw a light here like that. Don't worry, we'll just change the blend mode to screen. Yes, screen works better. And now increase the size of the brush a bit, make it a bit bigger, reduce the opacity this time, and hit another one, make it bigger, reduce the opacity again, hit it again. So the reason why I'm doing this is I'm trying to make the light that is falling from this side spread across the image. Now that I'm done with this, I would just increase this, take it somewhere this way. Decrease it and take it a bit up, something like this. And then probably we can also add a blur effect to it so that it uniforms the outlook like this. Now we can add another effect to it, which is the brightness and contrast. Give it a little bright, make it bright a little, add a little contrast. Let's go fast so you see what happens. We go down, you see what happens. So we want to add some contrast to it. 5 should be okay. Brightness, this should be okay. Maybe 10 should be okay. Now let's take it off and see. So let's put all of this in a group. Control J to put in a group. We can call it effect. Now let's see the before and after. Before and after. Before and after. So that the effect you now throw on the design gives it a uniform look. So alright, you can see from here what we have now. Once again, let's take out the before. Let's see the before and after. So now it tones up the image and make it all one. Simple arrangement of the information here. And our flyer is served hot as the meal on the flyer. Okay, so there we go. This brings us to the end of today's tutorial. I hope it was very helpful. If it was, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you are not already subscribed to this channel. And if you have any question, kindly leave that in the comment section and I'll respond. Have a good time.